From foul-ups to a full-blown cover-up, a new book points a finger firmly at Albuquerque Police for failing to solve a 1989 murder. Caitlin Arquette was just 18 when she was shot in the head as she sat in her car. Her mother, a well-known author, has now written a second book on the case. News 13's Amanda Goodman is in the Newsplex with more on what's in it. Amanda?
Dick Lois Duncan says the case was botched from the beginning and new information proves it.
I never thought that this long afterward we would still be looking for her killers.
But that's exactly what Caitlin Arquette's mother, Lois Duncan, is still doing 24 years after her daughter's death. She details the search and possible motives for Caitlin's murder in her new book, One to the Wolves.
Kate was in a position to expose a great many criminal activities, some of which appear to have been covered up by certain cops.
Kate was just 18 when she was shot and killed on Lomas near Arno in 1989. At the time, APD said it was a drive-by shooting.
We immediately thought the police would solve it. They said they would solve it, and we were very naive.
APD did make an arrest in the case, but the charges were later dropped for lack of evidence. The case went cold until Duncan wrote her first book about it in 1992.
And a lot of informants did come out of the woodwork, and we began to learn things that we had never even guessed when I wrote that first book.
Duncan says some of those things include the initial officer on scene calling it in as an accident with no injuries, and the fact that there was a man at the scene that neither of the officers interviewed. Then there are the crime scene photos Kate's family got access to years later, which showed rear-end damage to her car.
Outside investigators have told us indicate she was rammed from behind and forced off the road, and then probably was shot at close range by someone on foot.
Duncan believes it was Kate's boyfriend who put her in danger. He allegedly had ties to a Vietnamese gang running a rental car insurance fraud scheme and a chop shop for stolen cars. In the book, she also claims the investigating officers botched the case from the start, possibly to cover up their own ties to that chop shop. But even after all this time, the big question has yet to be answered.
We are not sure who pulled the trigger on Kate.
I did reach out to an APD spokesperson to see if anyone at the department read or had even heard of the new book. I did not get a response back. Dick?
Okay, Amanda, a cold case detective said the case is an open cold case, but not active.